Hey guys, what's going on? I'm Mark from Woodworker Source and First. Great to see you again. Second, I'm jazzed to show you this sweet little project that we just made. Let me show you. So this is a hexagon-shaped wine bottle rack made out of a cool and unusual wood called granadillo. Plus it's got a little sweet accent with bamboo. So this wood is gorgeous with graceful hints of purplish red, but it's still anchored in an earthy brown that's not too boring either. And basically this is a modern alternative to rosewood. Now why does that matter? Well, basically all 300 species of rosewoods are protected worldwide. So first, that makes them hard to get, and second, that makes them expensive when you can get them. Unfortunately, granadillo is the answer to those woes. It's got that luxurious appearance of fine rosewood, but it comes from certified sustainable sources, which is pretty cool. To get this buttery smooth, nice satin finish, I use two things: a sealer coat of dewaxed shellac and then 3 coats of satin spray lacquer. Now any good finish starts off with smooth, clean surfaces and nice tidy joints. So that's where I'm going to start with this project. So for our purposes here, just know I sanded the inside of the parts right before assembly, and that made a lot more sense to me than trying to sand the inside surfaces after this was glued up, because it's just kind of tough to get in there. So just know that's where we're kicking this off at. Now after it's all assembled, I start by doing a little hand planing, a little hand scraping, and of course a bunch of sanding to get this thing nice and smooth. So there's really a whole bunch of ways you can apply this. Let me show you real quick what I like to do. I used to use an off-the-shelf canned version of dewaxed shellac. This is called SealCoat. It's made by Zinsser. You can get it at a lot of different places. And I thin it down by about 25% with denatured alcohol, which is the solvent that cuts this. And then I actually add a little kiss of mineral oil. And what that does is it just makes the whole mixture a little slick, and that helps prevent a lot of streaks as I apply this to my project. It's pretty cool. I take a couple of cotton rags and I make a pad like this. I'm gonna take one rag, gonna soak it in there really good. This kind of acts as like the gas tank for the pad. Watch this. Just drop that in there, and I kind of fold this baby up. Maybe give it a twist, and now that makes a really nice pad. If I need a little more shellac as I go along, I just give it a squeeze. So the cotton pad works best on all the big areas, but when it comes to the little tight spaces and the reveals and the details, you've really got to switch to a good old-fashioned brush. Check out how nice the pad works on the larger areas. Now, even if I get a run here and there, the pad really helps fix those on the fly. Now you just give it a light scuffing with a synthetic finishing pad. Now you don't have to put in a lot of energy. This is part of the beauty of thinning down dewaxed shellac. It sands super smooth and really fast. Even if I still have some runs or streaks, the finishing pad really takes them right out. Now you clean off all the dust, now we're ready to shoot some lacquer. So why spray lacquer? Well, the reasons are many and they're kind of subtle. Spraying's probably the most efficient way to finish a project that's got a lot of corners and a lot of details. So why lacquer? Well, it's fast, and then this kind of project doesn't require any special considerations. You're not going to eat off of it, not going to use it outside. It doesn't need to be all that scratch resistant. Yeah, it doesn't demand any special protection that lacquer really can't handle. Now the techniques to shooting aerosol lacquer are pretty simple, but they might not be too obvious to you if you've never done it before. First, get yourself one of these from the paint store. It's just a spray trigger that attaches right to the top of a can. It's going to make your life a lot easier. Second, try your best to keep the spray a consistent distance from the surface. There's always a sweet spot at which you're not too close and you're not too far. If you're too close, you're going to get some runs, and if you're too far away, you're going to get a kind of a bumpy or rough finish. Third, if you're using the Deft brand of lacquer, you got to pay attention to the nozzle. It's got kind of a sweet little secret. You can rotate it to orient the fan for either vertical shooting or horizontal shooting. Now the first coat just needs to dry for at least 30 minutes, and then I scuff it down again with a finishing pad just to knock down the imperfections. Then I'm going to repeat with 2 more coats and scuffing. But I actually leave that last coat alone for a couple of days before doing the final scuffing. I just want that to harden up really well before handling it too much with my hands.
That's right. He was eavesdrop on Holly Weird. No. I know.